It is accelerating a disturbing trend. Wall Street banks and the multimillionaire elite are buying water worldwide at an unprecedented rate. The mega banks and investment giants as Goldman Sachs, J.P. Morgan Chase, Citigroup, UBS, Deutsche Bank, Credit Suisse, Macquarie Bank, Barclays Bank, the Blackstone Group, Allianz and HSBC, among others, are consolidating their control of water. Even tycoons like T. Boone Pickens, former President George H.W. Bush and his family, Li Ka-shing of Hong Kong, Manuel V. Pangilinan of Philippines and others are buying thousands of hectares of land with aquifers, lakes, exploitation rights, distribution companies, shares in engineering and water technology. The second disturbing trend is that, while the new barons are buying water all over the world, governments are rapidly limiting the ability of citizens to obtain it themselves, as evidenced by the famous case of Gary Harrington, the United States, where the state has criminalized collecting rainwater in 3 ponds located on private property, charging him with 9 counts and sentenced him to 30 days imprisonment. Collecting rainwater could take you to jail in the United States. Let this penalty in perspective. The billionaire T. Boone Pickens owns more water exploitation rights than any other individual in the United States, being able to exploit some 250 million liters a year. But the ordinary citizen Gary Harrington cannot collect rainwater in its 68 hectares of land. It is a strange new world order in which billionaires and banks can own aquifers and lakes, but ordinary citizens cannot even collect rainwater or melted snow in backyards behind their house. Water is the oil of the 21st century in the United States. Water is an industry of $425 billion. Andrew Liveris, CEO of Dow Chemical Company, at its annual conference on 5 major risks, Goldman Sachs said water shortages could be, for humanity in the 21st century, a graver than food and energy threat. In 2012, Goldman Sachs has bought the company Veolia, which supplies water to half citizens in southeast England, 3 million. In 2003, together with the Blackstone Group and Apollo Management, Ondionalco was acquired, a leader in water treatment, with 10,000 employees in 130 countries. In 2008, Goldman Sachs has invested, along with other funds, $50 million in water and beverages in China, leading companies in the production and distribution of bottled water in China. Since China is suffering one of the worst water shortages in Asia, the bottled water industry is the fastest growing in the world, and is seeing huge profits. Water will become the most important asset, much more than oil, copper, agricultural resources and precious metals. Zhou Xingyang, chief economist of Citigroup, 2011. Specifically, one of the lucrative opportunities is hydraulic fracking for oil and gas, generating a huge demand for water and related services. Each well requires between 10 and 20 million liters of water, 80% of which cannot be reused, because it is 10 times saltier than seawater and contains toxic chemicals. Citigroup encourages owners of exploitation rights to sell water to businesses rather than farmers, since water for hydraulic fracturing can be sold at a price 60 times higher than for agriculture. Potable water turned into toxic water due to fracking. The Bush family, in 2005 and 2006, bought 1,200 square kilometers of land on the border between Bolivia, Brazil and Paraguay. The land is located in the world's largest aquifer. The volume is about 40,000 cubic kilometers. It is estimated that this underground reservoir could supply the entire world of drinking water for 200 years. Unfortunately, the race for the privatization of water is unstoppable. Many countries have financial difficulties, and are no longer able to maintain and update their distributors. Faced with offers of millions of dollars of mega banks and the multimillionaire elite, cities and states they have much difficulty to reject privatization. Multinational corporations and Wall Street banks had prepared and waited for this moment for years. If they are already being owners of your water, your land, and even your body, how long it will be before claiming to own your air, your mind, and even your soul?